just always wanted to be a nurse since I was a child. I think it was just put on my heart as a little girl. I never wanted to do anything else, and OB was always my interest. My sister delivered a baby 20 weeks when I was a nurse at the time, but she delivered a stillborn child at 20 weeks, and it just always was on my heart that I wanted to be that kind of nurse for someone eventually.
When I was little, my grandfather had open heart surgery, and I saw how the nurses took care of him, and I was like, that's such a cool career to be able to be with somebody in their hardest times or their most joyous times, and it's like, I want to do that. And I've always loved women's health and thought it'd be really cool to help bring babies into the world.
When I went to school for my LPN, I always said I wanted to do women's health, but there was no other option as far as like office or anything like that. So after I had my son, I knew that I wanted to do labor and delivery and women's care, and I wanted to be that solid person for somebody in labor or somebody that was worried when they were having a C-section. I just knew that I wanted to be that calming force in somebody's labor story, because you do remember those people.
I didn't start out in labor and delivery. I started out in med-surg at PRMC, and I just thought that was so overwhelming. You just think you're so unqualified. You have 5 patients all of a sudden, and it's like, it's all your responsibility, and people are coming to you for questions.
You're taught everything is textbook. When you take NCLEX, it's textbook, and nothing is textbook in the real world. It can be one little symptom that they have, but that's what you go on, that's what you run with. And so making that differentiation between real world and textbook is hard in that first year.
That first year is a big learning year for learning how to be adaptable, and even if things aren't going your way, at least you have the patient in mind and you're doing what's best for the patient. I think one of the best things about being a nurse is the joy and relationship that you build with your patients and the family members, because you're not just taking care of the patient in labor and delivery, you're taking care of the mom and the baby and whoever's there with them. So having that connection with the family and being able to see the happiness and share in that is a joy.
Especially when you get the repeat patients, if you've had any. I've only had a couple since I've been there 2 years, but when they come back and they're like, you were my nurse the first time I had my first baby, and it's just so special to be a part of that journey again and get to experience it with them. You just become a part of their story, I feel like.
When we see patients in triage repetitively, there are people that come in frequently, but then they are so thankful for all that you did for them. And when you come back in after you've been off and your name is wrote on that little pink card, as minor as that is, you're like, okay, I did good.
I left medical ICU at the end of January of 2020. So I obviously had no idea what was about to come, but I felt so much guilt because I had the skills to help in the ICU. So it's been nice. I've been able to go out and help on med-surg and work as a med-surg nurse when they've needed me. But yeah, there definitely was a lot of guilt and feeling bad for everybody who is really in the throes of COVID.
I know it's limited visitation, but in the family birthing center, that's so great for that. It's such an intimate time. People don't regret not having anybody else come. That they just get to bond with their baby, and they just know their baby a little bit better when they go home. And not to mention that, but mom can sleep because we know she's tired right after. So I think that's been a good thing.
Yeah, I think it's definitely taught us to be adaptable, and we've been going out and helping our other nurses on med-surg a lot, and I absolutely love my job, and I love being in the family birthing unit, but we need to work as a team and help everyone out and come together.
You being involved, you actively have to be at the bedside, even if that means that your strip gets behind 3 hours, because we all know that happens.
And just getting into their story, crying with them if they need it, letting them talk openly without judgment, just entering their story and just showing them that you're human and that sharing experiences with them too, that makes the difference to them, I feel like, because they'll remember that. They're not going to remember if you just go through the motions and do the tasks you have to do for that day. They're going to remember the difference you made and the stories you told them.
You get to see your patients come in from the beginning when they're pregnant, and then you get to see them, after they leave. And that was one of the aspects that I liked the most about community. When you make that connection with your patients, it's almost like your family becomes their family. especially when you get to have them like their whole stay. That makes a difference. And they do remember that. I mean, and they want you the next time.
Yeah, I always try to be proactive too and just think about, okay, what do they not even know that they need? And I'll try to go and do that for them so that the stressful thing that they could experience, they're hopefully not going to experience, so they can focus on laboring and having the best birthing experience.
I would tell a nurse just starting her career to definitely get to know her team and appreciate them, just all of them. Know that everybody has a role and we all have to work together to make it the best patient experience because we can't work without them.
Whenever I'm orienting a new nurse, if they're asking a lot of questions, I'm like, that's great. They're engaged, they're learning, they are excited to be here. My biggest thing is I would tell them to be a sponge, like just try to soak everything up. If there's a cool experience or something interesting going on, try to go in and see what's going on, see if you can help or watch and ask a lot of questions.